Could a low go-around and a loud bang explain the crash that killed songwriter Brett James near Franklin, North Carolina? Tonight, Maya provides the human, historical lens, and Leo the forensic scrutiny. We'll cut through grief and rumor to what investigators must answer. Tonight, a clash of narratives, the cautious official timeline versus a swirl of tributes, theories, and aviation hot takes after the crash that killed songwriter Brett James near Franklin, North Carolina.
And a community grieving a person, not a headline. His songs held people up. The noise around the crash risks drowning out that human core.
Plus the media sloppiness. I saw someone call a Cirrus a private jet. That is not a jet. If we cannot label the aircraft right, what else are we getting wrong?
Here is what officials say. A single-engine Cirrus SR22T departed John C. Toon in Nashville just after midday. Around 3 p.m., it crashed in a field by Macon County Airport near Eotla Valley Elementary. No one on campus was hurt. All three aboard were killed: Brett James, age 57, Melody Carroll Wilson, age 59, and Merrill Maxwell Wilson, age 28. The cause is under investigation by NTSB with FAA assisting.
Witnesses heard a loud bang, debris scattered, and no post-impact fire. That detail matters. It rules out some assumptions, leaves others wide open.
And it undercuts the knee-jerk line. Why not pull the parachute? Cirrus caps needs altitude and conditions. At a few hundred feet on go-around, you are likely outside the safe envelope.
Investigators removed the aircraft to a secure facility. They are reviewing radar, records, weather, and witness statements. A preliminary report is expected within 30 days.
Meanwhile, tributes flood in. Carrie Underwood wrote that the loss is beyond words and called him the epitome of cool. Colleagues said he had an even bigger heart than his hits. That is the moral center here.
Also, Brett was a mentor, not just a hit machine. You can feel that in the way people talk about him, not the chart stats, but the way rooms changed when he showed up.
There is confusion to flag. Some outlets listed the Cirrus correctly. One called it a private jet. Some tributes list family relationships differently. It is not confirmed who was at the controls.
Right, and a YouTube breakdown tossed out dates and county names loosely. Macon, not Mon. If we second-guess pilots, we should first double-check spellings and calendars.
But the public chatter also asks real questions. Training norms, go-around technique, system design. Those are not pylons. They are about preventing the next tragedy near a schoolyard.
Fair. The same breakdown noted instrument flight rules, an approach to runway 07, and a likely go-around. If true, that places the airplane low, slow, turning, and vulnerable to a stall.
Hold on. We do not have tower audio. It is an untowered field. We do not know the radio calls or whether instrument flight rules were canceled early. Those are evidence gaps the NTSB will fill.
We know the human arc. Brett once said, "All I could figure was that God did not want me to be a doctor." He pivoted, mentored, fought for songwriters' rights. Systemic support made that pivot possible.
And he worked. Discipline. A song every third day in the early grind, according to friends. That is sweat, not magic. The same ethic applies in a cockpit. Reps, procedures, humility.
On safety, advocates cite Cirrus fatal rates dropping from roughly 2.6 per 100,000 flight hours in the early 2000s to around 0.8 in recent years. Training improved outcomes.
But training is not a spell. Risk homeostasis says new safety gear can tempt riskier behavior. Add a parachute, some pilots subconsciously push the edge. That is a design and culture challenge, not just a pilot flaw.
Or it is a discipline challenge. A yaw damper clicks off below about 200 feet. Shove full power, turn, forget right rudder. You can get bit. Checklists matter. Mixture, airspeed, attitude, coordinated turns.
And manufacturers shape discipline. Free transition training is good, so are avionics. But how do we reach used market owners, and how do we audit that training sticks years later?
We do not fix culture by dunking on a brand. The SR22 is common, so raw counts look scary. You have to normalize by hours flown. Apples to apples, it has become safer than average general aviation.
Another tension, biography. Some profiles list his birthplace as Oklahoma City. Others say Columbia, Missouri. That is a reminder to slow down. We will defer to primary records or family statements.
What is not in dispute? his impact. He co-wrote songs like Jesus, Take the Wheel, When the Sun Goes Down, Blessed. Colleagues called him a Music Row giant. That is a civic loss for Nashville.
An artist said he changed their lives. That is the quiet part we skip in news cycles. The machine keeps turning, but spaces feel empty. Studios do not sound the same the next morning.
Investigatively, we have open questions. Who was flying? Was there a mechanical issue tied to that loud bang? Was it an unstable approach, a late go-around, or something else entirely?
And situational risk. An elementary school next door. Communities near untowered fields deserve better buffers, drills, and transparency. Safety is not just pilots, it is land use and emergency planning.
Let us not scare parents. Airports and schools have coexisted for decades. The fact no one on the ground was hurt matters. Smart planning and pilot standards can keep that record intact.
It matters because we were one terrible turn from catastrophe. System design should not rely on luck. Build redundancy, practice go-arounds, and publish plain language safety briefings to neighbors.
Fine, brief the neighbors. But the cockpit is where rubber meets runway. Train for the miss, not the kiss. If unstable, go around early. Fly the airplane. Do not let it fly you.
One more factual note. Officials say pieces were contained at the scene, and there was no post-impact fire. The NTSB has requested witness videos or statements. If you saw anything, contact them.
The family piece is tender. Some reports called Melody his wife and Meryl her daughter. Others mention an ex-wife among survivors. We should follow the family's lead and avoid speculating on relationships.
Agreed. Grief gets messy when headlines chase clicks. Name the deceased correctly, let the living grieve correctly, and wait for the report before casting blame.
Recap. As we pivot, time and place are clear. Identities are confirmed. Cause is not. Witnesses report a bang, debris, no fire. Investigators are processing wreckage and data. A preliminary report in about 30 days.
And the art he left. He once stepped to a mic and let a room in Jesus take the wheel. People sang because the lyric felt like survival. That resonance is why tributes cut so deep right now.
There is an irony people will point to, but let us not be glib. A song is not a flight manual. Keep the poetry, respect the procedures. Both can be true without cheap shots.
Justice for me means asking what the system can fix. Could better stabilized approach guidance, more scenario-based training, or clearer CAPS decision trees save lives?
And justice means telling pilots to show up humble. Superior judgment beats superior skill. Respect the numbers, fly coordinated, and if it feels wrong, live to try again.
On numbers, one analysis cited an instrument flight plan around 11,000 feet en route and a high initial approach, then a pass, possible go-around, and a second attempt, again unconfirmed pending the report.
Even if the rough profile holds, that is a teaching case. Normalize calling off a landing early. Normalize the go-around as a success, not a failure. That culture shift saves lives across all types, not just Cirrus.
Which is why I push back when commenters weaponize CAPS. It is a tool, not a crutch. Low, slow, turning is a bad time to reach for any miracle. Better to keep margin so you never need one.
We also owe communities near small airports better communication after accidents, not morbid curiosity, practical updates, mental health resources, and how to help the families respectfully.
And we owe the craft what Brett gave it, mentorship. The studio is safer when elders take time with rookies. The cockpit is safer when instructors take time with rusty pilots. Same ethic.
The music world framed it that way. ASCAP's Paul Williams said he had a bigger heart than his hits. The Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame and NSAII called him a giant. That is legacy, not hype.
And a reminder that artists' labor rights matter. He advocated for songwriters' pay and credit. If we honor him, carry that fight forward, not just the playlists and posts.
Also, let us scrub the record clean. Birthplace listings conflict, family details vary. Datelines in some videos do not match. Accuracy is respect. Get the small things right. It honors the big life.
Second and last recap. Facts are early and limited. Speculation is plentiful. We have a clear location, time window, victim identities, and a community in mourning. The why remains open.
Until the report, my ask is empathy. Share memories, not theories. If you need a place to start, play Blessed or I Hold On. And remember a writer who helped people feel less alone.
And if you fly, go practice. Go with an instructor. Nail go-arounds, short approaches, and engine-out drills. Confidence is earned in daylight reps, not conjured in dusk emergencies.
We will post the NTSB docket when it lands. If you have video or saw anything near Macon County Airport that afternoon, contact investigators. That evidence matters more than any hot take.
One last thought. The day before the crash, the family celebrated a 28th birthday. That detail is a shard of real life. Hold that, not the clickbait version of grief.
Amen. Mourn well, fly well, and tell the story straight. That is how you honor a life and learn the right lessons.
Next time, we will bring a Cirrus instructor and a Nashville writer who worked with Brett to unpack training, culture, and craft. Until then, be kind, be precise, and stay curious.